Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to learn a very powerful method for improving spoken English. It's called story chunks with shadowing. This technique will help you speak English more naturally with better flow, rhythm, and confidence.
Yes, and together we will explain how you can use small story parts, also called chunks, and then shadow or repeat them to train your brain and tongue to work together in English. By the end of this lesson, you will know how to build your own story, break it into chunks, and shadow it step by step until you can tell it smoothly.
Let's start by first understanding what a story chunk is. A story chunk is simply a short part of a story. Instead of memorizing or repeating a very long story, we break it into small, clear sentences or phrases. These chunks are easier to handle, easier to repeat, and easier to remember.
That's right. For example, instead of saying, "Yesterday I woke up late, rushed to school, missed the bus, and felt embarrassed," we can break this into chunks like, "Yesterday I woke up late. Then I rushed to school. Next, I missed the bus. And finally, I felt embarrassed." These smaller parts are the chunks.
When you practice with chunks, you avoid feeling lost or confused. You can focus on rhythm and pronunciation. And shadowing means listening carefully to how a word or sentence is spoken and then repeating it immediately, like an echo.
Exactly. Shadowing is like being the shadow of the speaker. You hear the sound and you quickly copy it. This helps you catch natural stress, pauses, and intonation of English speakers. When you combine story chunks with shadowing, you're actually training yourself to tell a full story step by step, sounding natural and confident.
Now, let's demonstrate with a small story. We'll create a simple story that many learners can relate to. Let's call it a morning surprise.
Here's the first chunk. I woke up late this morning. Listen carefully. I woke up late this morning.
Now shadow with me. Repeat quickly after hearing it. I woke up late this morning. Good. That's the first chunk.
Next chunk. The alarm clock didn't ring. Listen again. The alarm clock didn't ring.
Now shadow. Repeat after me. The alarm clock didn't ring. Notice how the rhythm flows naturally.
The third chunk. I rushed to the kitchen for breakfast. Say it right after hearing, I rushed to the kitchen for breakfast.
Fourth chunk. There was no bread on the table. Repeat with me. There was no bread on the table.
And the last chunk. I had to leave with just a glass of milk. Listen and shadow. I had to leave with just a glass of milk.
Now, if we join all the chunks together, we can tell the story smoothly. It goes like this. I woke up late this morning. The alarm clock didn't ring. I rushed to the kitchen for breakfast. There was no bread on the table. I had to leave with just a glass of milk.
When you practice this way, your brain learns the natural order of English, and your mouth learns the rhythm. Instead of only knowing separate words, you now know connected phrases. That's how fluency is built.
Yes. And another benefit is confidence. When you shadow stories, you practice speaking without hesitation. You don't stop to translate in your head because you already know the chunk. You just repeat it.
Also, story chunks give you vocabulary and context. Instead of learning the word alarm alone, you learn it inside the sentence, the alarm clock didn't ring. That makes the word easier to remember and easier to use later.
So, how can learners practice at home? Very simple. First, choose a short story or make your own. Break it into 4 to 6 small chunks. Listen to a speaker saying it or record yourself slowly. Then shadow each chunk one by one until it feels natural.
After that, combine all the chunks into the full story. Say it several times. Then, try to tell the story again without looking at notes. Finally, change little parts of the story to make it yours. For example, instead of, I rushed to the kitchen for breakfast, you can say, I rushed to the bathroom to brush my teeth.
That way, you are not just repeating like a robot, but learning to use English in your own life. The more you do it, the easier it becomes.
And you don't need long stories at the beginning. Even a story of 3 or 4 sentences is enough. With practice, you can move to longer ones.
Another tip is to record yourself. When you shadow, record and then listen. Compare your version with the original. Ask yourself, is my rhythm close? Do I sound natural? This will help you improve faster.
And don't worry about mistakes. The goal is not to be perfect from the start, but to keep practicing. Over time, your pronunciation, speed, and confidence will grow.
Let's give one more short example, this time about going to the park. First chunk, yesterday I went to the park.
Second chunk, I saw children playing football.
Third chunk, I sat on a bench to read a book.
Fourth chunk, suddenly it started to rain.
Fifth chunk, I ran home quickly, laughing all the way.
Now, put it together. Yesterday I went to the park. I saw children playing football. I sat on a bench to read a book. Suddenly it started to rain. I ran home quickly, laughing all the way. That's how simple and fun it can be.
So, what have we learned today? We learned that story chunks are short, manageable parts of a story. We shadow each chunk by repeating it immediately after hearing.
We also learned that shadowing with story chunks improves rhythm, pronunciation, vocabulary, and confidence. It is one of the fastest ways to sound natural in English.
Then, we connect all the chunks to tell the story smoothly. So, keep practicing with your own short stories. Break them into chunks, shadow them, and then tell them as complete stories. Step by step, your English will improve.
Keep practicing, and soon you will be speaking English with confidence and fluency.